Hey guys. So there are makeup products that I have purchased over and over and over again throughout the years. And that is a rare thing because most of the time when I buy makeup, I'll buy something, I'll try it, I'll decide whether I like it or not. But even if I like it, usually I won't buy it again because there are so many things coming out all the time and we're always trying new things. But it is a rare thing for me to purchase things multiple times. So that's what this video is dedicated to. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things in front of me that I have bought over and over again. So I figured I would dedicate a video to those products. The first thing I'm going to show you is something that I just recently repurchased. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser Concealer. I love the formula on this. It's almost like a skin treatment mixed in with the concealer. I am wearing it today. My problem that I used to have with this was it seemed like no matter which one I chose, because it comes in a number of different shades, of course, but it seems like no matter which one I chose, I could never get one that was the right color for me until now. I don't know if you guys know this, but Maybelline just expanded their range of colors for this product, and now they have 4 more shades that they didn't have before. So if you liked the formula of this, but just couldn't find a color to match you right, there might be one now. This is the shade Ivory, and this is what I am wearing right now, and this is a really great color match for me for a concealer. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to show you. The second thing I wanted to show you is a powder. This is the MAC Studio Fix powder, and my shade in this is NW20. This is technically a powder foundation, but I don't like powder foundations. My skin it's normal, but it's more on the drier side of normal, and so I don't like powder foundations for that reason. But this powder, I use it just like as a finishing powder over my foundation, and it can absolutely be used that way. It is the softest, silkiest, most blendable powder. It just gives you the nicest finish. All products layer beautifully over this. You guys know I use a lot of creams and liquids and things like that, and sometimes those products don't do well over powder. This powder, I can put anything I want over it and it will blend just fine. So don't think of this in terms of a foundation so much as just a powder. But I've had multiple containers of this, and I have a container in my back to MAC. But I'm sure most of you know about the MAC back to MAC program, where you take empty containers and return them to MAC. When you have 6 containers, you get a free lipstick. So I have one of these containers in that box right now that has, almost no powder left in it. I mean, it's so little that you can't even pick it up with a brush anymore. So this was my backup, but this is a great, great powder, and if you want a sure thing from MAC, this is one. The next thing I'm going to talk about is an oldie but goodie. Nobody talks about this anymore. Nobody wears this anymore. I have purchased this multiple times, and I really enjoy it. It is Benetint, and it's basically just a red liquid cheek tint. This can be used on the lips too, but I don't like it on the lips, but I love it on the cheeks. It's what I have on today. The nice thing about this is you can put as little or as much as you want. I mean, some people like a little bit of blush, some people like a lot of blush. Sometimes it depends on the look you're doing. I don't like a ton of blush. Whenever I put a lot of blush on, I feel like a clown. So I just use a small amount of blush, and this is the easiest thing in the world to put on. There are all different methods that you can use to apply it. Yesterday, I took my beauty blender and just put a couple of drops on my beauty blender and dabbed it onto my face. Today, I put 1 drop on my finger and then just blended it with my finger, and then did, put 1 drop on the other finger and did the other side. So I just have 1 drop on each side. Super concentrated, will last you a long, long time. I really, really enjoy this product. Okay, eyeshadows. Today I am wearing something that I just repurchased. I don't even know how many of these I've had, but it is such a beautiful eyeshadow. I'm talking about Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze. This is the most gorgeous bronze cream eyeshadow. So that's what I have on today, and this is kind of a one and done eyeshadow. I have it on my lids and in my crease, and when you apply it, it takes on like a whole nother dimension and life of its own. Like if you look at my lids and then you look at my crease, it almost looks like I'm wearing 2 different shadows. But it's just the eyeshadow and the way it applies and the way it looks when it dries. I just really love this eyeshadow. The formula on these is not the same from color to color. So keep that in mind. So like if you buy one, don't think that if you were to buy the whole line that they are all going to look like that or apply the same way. They have different finishes, but even the ones that are the same finish within the line aren't necessarily as good as this one. This one is like the gem of the bunch. I can tell you that this one performs almost like magic. But some of the other ones in the line I'm not that crazy about. But yeah, I do use an eyeshadow primer underneath this. I just feel like it applies nicer and goes on more smoothly and evenly, but you don't really have to because it is a cream eyeshadow. You can just use this. It's entirely up to you. But this is a classic that I hope they never stop making because it's so easy and so beautiful. The next eyeshadow that I want to talk to you about is a L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Eyeshadow, and this is the shade Amber Rush. This is what I had on in yesterday's video. These are the most beautiful eyeshadows, and they're sort of a hybrid. It isn't a straight up powder eyeshadow, but it isn't a cream eyeshadow either. It's sort of like, if you've ever used the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, it's a hybrid like that, but it's not as wet as those are. I think most of you are familiar with these, but just in case you're not. So it has a screw top, and then it has this stopper thing. So there are a number of different ways you can use these, but really the easiest method of application, I think, is to use your fingers. You can use a brush, but it's just going to go on better with your fingers because if you swirl your finger in the product, it seems like it's just the right amount of product to sort of pat on your lids. What I like to do with these is buy these in the form of a lid shade and then use something else in the crease, or you can do it like a one and done shadow and just put it in on the lid and in the crease. But I just repurchased this. My L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows were so old. I'm usually so great about purging my old makeup, But with these, I wasn't really sure how long to keep them because, like I said, they're not a straight up powder, but they're not a cream either. They're like something in between. So I kept them uh, a lot longer than I probably should have. And I just threw out my collection of these that I had because that, you know, some of them were newer, some of them were really old, and I just thought, okay, time to start over again. So this is the only one that I have right now. But that tells you something about this shade, that this was the first one that I repurchased after purging all my others. But had it on in yesterday's video, and so if you want to see that, you can check that out. But this is just stunning, beautiful eyeshadow. And I would say this particular shade is like a metallic finish. The different shades in the line do come in different finishes, so depending on what you're looking for. But again, kind of like with the color tattoos, I like to put this on my lid and sometimes also in the crease and do like a one and done, or sometimes I will just put this on the lid and then put something else in the crease. Just depends on what I'm feeling like at the time. But this is a classic as well, and I hope they never stop making these. And the reason why I say that, other than what I just said, is because I noticed a lot of stores are not carrying these anymore. So for a while there, I thought that they were being discontinued, but no, and I still am seeing them at some stores, but it just looks like there's not enough shelf space for all the products that are on the market, so stores have to make a decision as to what they're going to cut. But yeah, these are just really beautiful. The next product I want to talk about is Maybelline Great Lash Mascara. Wait a minute. In royal blue. You're probably thinking to yourself, what? Maybelline Great Lash Mascara? That's horrible. Well, yeah, the formula on these is, I wouldn't buy this to use as my primary mascara. I use this for layering purposes. It's this really shocking royal blue color, and I either use this like I've been using my Wet n Wild Lash Renegade for as a primer, or you can use it by itself if you want to, but it's not really going to show up that well. But I like to layer this. Today what I did was I used this as a primer, then I applied my regular mascara that I always use, and then I just put a tiny bit more of this on top of that. So you see that my lashes don't really look blue, but it does give you a little bit of depth and dimension and a little something that's going to make your lashes be like more interesting. But I've bought many tubes of this, and hopefully they'll never get rid of the royal blue in this because it's such an affordable mascara that you know, that's always nice. And the next product that I'm going to show you, I've had multiple palettes of this, and I keep buying different things and trying to find like the best product to use or the best method of application, but I always go back to this in the end. So I bought this recently. This is the e.l.f. eyebrow palette, and this is the shade Light. You get a light powder, and then you get a cream, a brown cream, and I don't know, there's something about this. The way I use it is I actually mix the two together. I dip my brush a little bit in the cream, a little bit in the powder, and then apply it on my brows. And I feel like my brows look very natural, which is what I want. And the color seems to be working really well for me right now. As you can tell, my hair is in the process of growing out, so it's just getting progressively lighter as we go along. and I had to keep changing my brow product to compensate for that. And for a while there, I thought that by using an eyeshadow as a brow powder, that was going to be the perfect thing. But no, even though I found some shadows that were the perfect color to use for that purpose, it didn't end up working out in the long run because texture-wise, it just wasn't the perfect thing. Whereas with this, the powder and the cream mixed together, it goes on a certain way and it just stays like that. And you also don't get that crunchy brow feeling that you get with pomades. If you've ever used a brow pomade or a brow gel, it makes your brows like feel kind of hard and stiff, and it doesn't feel nice at all. Whereas this is going to do what you want it to do, and it's going to hold everything in place, and it's going to maintain the color throughout the day and not fade. Whereas if you just use a powder, I don't know, it doesn't stay, and to me it just doesn't look natural no matter what color you use. So e.l.f. eyebrow kit, and so inexpensive. They used to have another shade. Right now all they have is light, medium, and dark, and so I go with light. But they used to have one called Ash. I don't think they make that one anymore, and if they do, it's only on the website, but I really liked that one too. But the light right now works for me. But when my hair is completely grown out, this might end up being a little bit too dark, but we'll see how it goes. So this is a great product anyway. And then I have a couple of lip products that I want to show you. This is what's on my lips right now. Lip Smacker Dr. Pepper. This just gives you a light stain in this sort of reddish shade, but as you can see by looking at the product, it's not going to stain your lips that dark. It's just going to give you a slight stain, my lips but better type of thing, but more of like a reddish hue, and moisturize your lips at the same time. This is a great thing to throw in your purse. It goes with a lot of different makeup looks, and you don't ever have to worry about dry lips if this is what you're using. So if you like lip stains or lip tints or anything like that, then this is really a good one. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Lip Smackers was bought by Markwins, which is the people that own Wet n Wild. So this is now part of the Wet n Wild family. And last but certainly not least is a lipstick that I have purchased over and over and over again throughout the years. This is Rimmel Long Lasting Finish Lipstick in number 70, Airy Fairy. And this is sort of a peachy nude color, but looks good with so many makeup looks. I had this on in my Rimmel eyeshadow video that I did a couple days ago. That's what I had on my lips. And really nice formula. Really pleasant scent. For a while there I was having a tough time finding this, but then all of a sudden I started finding it again. But they don't still have a lot of shades of this line. So when you're looking at the Rimmel lipsticks, there's like this little section that has this and maybe one or two other lipsticks. So I don't think that they make the full line of this formula anymore, but it's really moisturizing and has a little bit of a glossy finish to it. You can see the way the light is catching that. But this is such a pretty lipstick. Goes with everything. Let me swatch that Dr. Pepper so you can see. So that's more of like a brownish red. But both of these things I have bought over and over and over again. And I think that they're especially great colors to have for fall and winter because they go really well with those types of eye looks. But yeah, these products, I would highly recommend any of these things. So if there's something there that you've never tried, you might want to pick it up. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video. Bye guys, thanks for watching.